Welcome to World News by Denis Halandzovskyi. If you value clear, calm, and fact-based reporting on complex domestic policy issues, please subscribe, leave a comment, and share your perspective. Today we explore a major issue in U.S. domestic policy: immigration enforcement under the Trump era, focusing on how detention and deportation networks are structured, how they operate, and who is most affected. Under recent immigration policy shifts, enforcement actions by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, commonly known as ICE, have been intensified. These operations involve a network of field offices, detention centers, and coordination with local law enforcement agencies. The stated goal is to locate, detain, and deport individuals who are in the country without legal status and have been prioritized for removal. The interactive data shows patterns in the locations of detention operations, arrests made across multiple states, and how enforcement prioritization can vary based on policy guidance from federal leadership. In many cases, ICE agents target individuals who have been flagged for deportation orders, often after failing to appear in court or after immigration court decisions. Detention facilities operate across regions, housing individuals who may be awaiting hearings, transfers, or removal proceedings. These facilities include federally run centers, contract facilities, and locations run in cooperation with local authorities. Critics of the system argue that conditions in some of these centers are harsh, with long periods of uncertainty for detainees. Once detained, many individuals await deportation proceedings that can stretch months or even years, depending on legal representation, case backlog, and jurisdiction. For some, the consequence is removal from the United States, returning them to countries they left years earlier. Families are frequently separated, and individuals with established residence in the US, including long-term residents without legal status, are caught up in enforcement actions. Policy directives under the Trump-aligned approach emphasize broad enforcement authority, prioritizing individuals with certain criminal convictions or records. However, there are documented cases in which ICE agents have also detained people for minor violations or administrative issues, which critics say represents an expansion beyond core priorities. The network structure reflects a blend of federal agencies, local cooperation, and administrative processes that together form a system of detection, detention, and removal. Through this maze, individuals can be moved between facilities and jurisdictions, complicating access to legal counsel and oversight. The enforcement network and its expanded procedures have generated intense debate within the United States. Supporters of robust immigration enforcement argue that a sovereign nation has the right to control its borders and ensure that immigration laws are upheld. From this perspective, the ICE network's work is necessary to maintain the rule of law and to focus limited resources on individuals who pose specific threats to public safety or who have repeatedly violated immigration statutes. Opponents, including immigrant rights groups, human rights advocates, and some legal experts, counter that aggressive enforcement has deep human costs. Families lose loved ones to detention or removal, children are separated from parents, and long-standing community members can face expulsion despite contributing socially and economically. Legal advocates also highlight concerns about due process, access to counsel, and the conditions within detention facilities. The broader political conversation reflects these tensions. Some lawmakers push for reforms that would narrow enforcement priorities, expand legal protections, and reduce reliance on detention. These proposals often focus on alternatives to detention, stronger pathways for legal residency, and protections for asylum seekers and refugees. Meanwhile, enforcement authorities argue that without the structures in place, undocumented migration could go unchecked, undermining immigration controls and burdening local systems. They emphasize the importance of coordination between federal and local authorities to identify and remove individuals who may represent priority cases under the law. International observers also pay attention to these developments. How the United States manages immigration, a global challenge for many countries, influences diplomatic relations, migrant flows, and human rights standards. Other nations gauge U.S. policy shifts as part of broader assessments of global migration governance. Ultimately, the interplay between enforcement mechanisms, legal frameworks, and human experiences illustrates that immigration policy is not just a matter of statistics and operations, but one that touches individual lives, family stability, and the social fabric of communities across the country. Thank you for watching this report on World News by Denis Halandzovskyi. If you found this analysis informative and clear, please subscribe, leave a comment, and share your perspectives. Independent reporting and open discussion help us understand complex issues that affect people's lives and national policy. Stay informed and see you in the next update.